waiting for. Please welcome the Pelbros Podcast.
Yo, when I say episode, you say 21. Episode.
21, man.
Episode.
21.
Yeah. Goose. I think let's get a little round of applause again because it's the season has begun officially, right?
Yeah.
Right, Mr. James, and basically what that means, that actually marks a new season for the Pelbros too. Before you guys were tuning in, you guys thought that was good shit, but that's only like our season 0. That's like our test dummy. This now begins our official season 1. So a little handshake to you, my fellow Pelbro.
Yep, handshaking right now.
Are you doing a handshake?
Yeah, unfortunately we're not in the same vicinity, so we can't actually give an official handshake, but got to make do. But yeah, 2021 season has started. But like you said, season 1 for us. For those who are potentially new fans, started this in around, I think it was February 2020.
Yeah.
So yeah, we only had about a few games before COVID shut everything down.
Yeah, true.
Man, season 1 is going to be exciting. It's going to be a lot of new content coming out, a lot of stuff happening on YouTube. If you've just joined us as a fan, or if you've been here since the very start, then yeah, mad respect. Shout out. But yeah, anything else from you, Ryan, before we kick into the season?
All I want to say is obviously, obviously we've been hitting it up, this and that, like giving you guys love. But if you guys love our shit too, obviously hit us up, the usual at Pelbros on Instagram. DM us. We want to hear you guys. We want to see that we're not just talking to, some bots from India or something like that. We're actually talking to real human beings out there. I think according to YouTube analytics, we got a bunch of Americans listening in, tuning in. So shout out to you if you're in the USA, specifically if you're in NOLA too. Shout out.
Yeah, for sure. We've had a few people DMing us on Instagram, giving us a bit of love. So yeah, definitely respect and props to you guys, and thanks for listening. So yeah, why don't we just jump in? Season started. Pelicans, we're on the 26th at the moment, so it's Christmas for America, but we've played 2 games
Boxing
now.
Day for us, mate.
Yeah, 2 games from the Pelicans, taking a win against the Raptors, and then an unfortunate loss to the Heat today. But yeah, today we're just going to be reviewing those 2 games, giving our first impressions of how those games went. What's this new team makeup look like? What's Stan Van Gundy's influence been? And then once we have a bit of time later on after that, we'll probably talk about league-wide, what are our first impressions? Who's looking really good out of the teams and who's not doing so hot. So yeah, should we just get started with the Raptors game?
Oh yeah, true. So I don't think were you able to catch the game live, the Raptors game?
Yeah, this game I caught parts of it. I had to work that day, but I did manage to tune in to different parts of it. So it was a good win, 113-99. Bit of a deja vu. We played the Raptors last year for the season opener, where I believe we took a loss. Pretty sure we took a loss actually, because we started the season 0-5.
So yeah, we definitely most did. Yeah.
Don't want to dig up old memories, but yeah, definitely getting a great win at Raptors as well. Perfect start for Stan Van Gundy. It was an awesome game overall for everyone. I think everyone contributed. MVP definitely goes to BI. 24 points, 9 rebounds, 11 assists.
Triple-double overs.
Yeah, guys like JJ also pulling in 23 points, going off from 3, 6 from 11. And then other guys shipping in, Bledsoe, Lonzo Ball. A quiet game for Zion, only 15 points, but overall, just a team effort. What did you manage to take out of this game from highlights or anything, Ryan?
Yeah, unfortunately, I was not able to catch the game too because I had other appointments at the time. However, I did bet on it. And I was I had a workmate. I was like, bro, don't put money against the Pelicans, bro. Like the Pelicans are not gonna lose to the Raptors, And I knew we were gonna be hungry for it and shit. And I was right, but my multi lost because like one thing didn't. Because Zion didn't get 20+ points, but it's all good. I got a refund on the bonus bet. I'm just trying. I don't want to promote certain bookkeepers, but now this specific section will be a good time for promotions. Hit us up, pelbrospodcast@gmail.com. Anyways, sorry. As I was saying, the Toronto Raptors game, basically, yeah, man, I was only able to actually catch highlights of it, and dude, it looked like, I think what I was trying to say to you was that it just looked like I had never seen our Pelicans pieces being used so like well, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like people were making like unselfish plays. Like I felt balanced. Is a nice word, right? Like we weren't just like spam going fast like Alvin Gentry kind of offense, but we were defensively sound, making good plays, setting other cunts up, etc., etc. I liked it. You know what I mean? Like I was like, shit, bro. Like this is a fucking new era. SVG definitely already straight away from that game gets my tick of approval. I honestly that's kind of what I gathered. Obviously I didn't watch the game like live, so I can't get a full proper feel, but that's kind of what I gathered myself. But yeah, bro. Overall, when the fuck have we ever won? Like actually started with a win in the season. So congrats to that, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a great start, but I think touching it pretty well. It's definitely like a well balanced and unselfish kind of game, and the guys just seem to gel really well. It didn't look like these five guys had played the first, I guess, official kind of starting five game, unless you want to count preseason. But yeah, Steven Adams and Bledsoe look like pretty good additions based off this game. I think one thing for me is just how much better Steven Adams looks on the court in terms of like he's just everywhere. He's just super active. No hate on D-Faves, but Steven Adams is just everywhere. He's constantly boxing out. He's constantly looking for rebounds. He's looking for screens, making plays, both on offense and defense. He's just so active across the floor. So
he's doing the dirty work. I think I heard.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I wasn't completely that hype on him before the season started, but he looked like a great addition to the team and exactly what we need. And then Bledsoe definitely chipping in as well. 18 points, 4 of 8 from 3-point. If he can keep up a bit of consistency with his shot, then he will play a great role as a shooting guard. We don't need him to go off every night for 20 points or 30 points or anything. We just need him to play solid defense and just hit those buckets when he's open. So yeah, overall it seemed like a bit of both in terms of our defensive intensity was definitely up, and that's a credit to Stan Van Gundy. But the Raptors did kind of choke themselves out a bit. They were up in the second quarter by about, I think, 10 points, and then we had a really strong third quarter, which is something you never thought you'd hear. The Pelicans having a really strong third quarter. But yeah, definitely the Raptors shooting themselves in the foot a bit, shooting only 30% from 3 and then 42% from the field. So yeah, overall great win. Good to get a bit of revenge on last year, but yeah, this just goes to show, I think, the potential of the team and how good they looked. And I think the other thing is that we only held them to 99 points. So considering last year,
exactly what I mean, defense.
Yeah, considering last year we were giving up like 120, 130 points per game or something. 99 points for a playoff Raptors team, a healthy playoff Raptors team, is really, really impressive. So huge props to the team.
Yeah, man. I was gonna say, like, BI had a fucking game though too. What's it called? I was expecting BI would only get like 15 plus or something like that, and Zion was gonna have a big game. But it's the other way around. Like BI had almost a triple double. Like, what was it again? 20 something, 29? Was it
24 points, 9 rebounds,
points.
11 assists.
And all I'm trying to say is that, like, from the first game, from the season opener, already proving, why he was an all-star last year and why he's going to be an all-star again, why he was the most improved. You know what I mean? Like he hasn't missed a beat, is what I'm trying to say. Like, especially when he starts finding his shot, his rhythm, it's something lovely to see.
Yeah, completely deserving of that max contract for sure.
Oh yeah, shit! I forgot this man getting paid now too.
Other thing I'll quickly touch on before we move on to the Heat game is interesting thing coming out of the preseason was Stan was saying how he'd like to see BI play a bit more of like a ball playing role and potentially even like a shooting guard role as well. But just to see him have 11 assists, that's like beautiful, right? Like team high 11 assists, bro. Lonzo Ball, not gonna hate, but he only had 2 assists. So BI was just carrying, bro. So if you get the ball in BI's hands and he can just pass it out, or you go for a mid-range shot or go for the drive, then we're going to be deadly for the rest of the season.
Wait, but how much did Zoe shoot? Like, how many points did he get?
16 points. So it was 4 of 8 from 3. So he was feeling it that day. 4 of 6 from free throw as well. That's even more impressive, actually.
Yeah, shout out to him. But, talking about him and talking about Bledsoe, big thing is the quote unquote consistency or lack thereof, right? Which brings us to the next game versus the Heat.
Yeah, one of the things we discussed, especially, is the consistency amongst these players. But yeah, today's game against the Miami Heat for Christmas game. So, getting another Christmas game, which is quite rare for the Pelicans. Unfortunately, losing 98 to 111. BI and Zion both stepping up, going off, scoring 60 points together. And then the rest of the team just only contributing 38 of some pretty poor shooting. So yeah, just couldn't back up our performance against the Raptors with another solid or all-around performance. But yeah, just to quickly bring up the consistency issues. So, before we get too hype about Lonzo Ball, Bledsoe shooting from the three, mate,
Can you hear a storm outside?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, wow, you can hear that?
Yeah, I could hear that. Thunderstorms coming through. Yeah, just quickly touching on the inconsistency. Bledsoe, 5 points today. 1 of 6 from the 3-point, 2 of 10 from the field. Lonzo Ball, 6 points, 2 of 8 from the 3-point. Man, it's going to be a long season of some rough nights for these guys. But yeah, overall, no one really contributing. JJ Redick, 8 points, 1 of 7 from the field. Yeah, overall just a tough game. So I didn't get to see this game. I only saw the highlights. So I'll throw it over to you, Ryan, just based on what you saw. And then I'll give in some insights as well.
True. Because you're giving some good context to this. Yeah, it's a Christmas game, but for us, it's technically in Boxing Day. Because for our actual Christmas Day in Australia, we don't get any games because that's your guys' 24th, your Christmas Eve. So you guys don't have any games, but your Christmas games is our Boxing Day games. Anyways, though, that's all right. But the thing is that the only problem is that the Pelicans Heat game started at 4 a.m. in the fucking morning.
Crazy.
I actually, I was like, fuck it. I've been waking up early in the morning, and I was really quite sleepy last night. So I was like, let's call it a quiet. Let's call it a quick quiet one. What the fuck? I don't even know what the expression is, but let's go to sleep early. Anyway, so I go to sleep, and then I actually wake up around like 5ish because I put an alarm on like 5:30, and then I kind of like was just sleeping in and out, and then finally I actually tuned in for like I'd say 3/4 of the fourth quarter, but like for let's say just the entire fourth quarter I watched. Right at this point, obviously throughout that time I was kind of like tuning in and out, but the only kind of time I watched consistently was that fourth quarter. I saw the score. I was like, oh shit, we could potentially, I could potentially win my bet A, but also like B, like we could actually potentially win this game. Well, holy shit. And, like as in the beginning of the fourth quarter, the game was definitely at the point where we could have I guess like grabbed it for ourselves, like clutched it for ourselves. But, the more and more I continued to watch keep in mind too, this is like fucking 6 a.m. I don't want to be fucking awake right now, but I want to watch some live Pels, and I have a bet on this too. I've got money on this too, and I'm like, come on, please win. And what I keep just having to watch for the next like 6 minutes of game or whatever bullshit, basically both BI. So it's not just BI. No, sorry, it's not just Zion, but also BI. But BI and Zion in that fourth quarter, just fucking, especially Zion, just keep like taking the ball, not really knowing what the fuck they're doing, and just fucking kind of charging towards the fucking like the hoop, the basket, right? And then with that, just a lot of times, especially with Zion, like I was saying, just losing the fucking ball. You know what I mean? Like getting a swiped off of him. He just like fumbles the ball or some shit like that. And that's the thing. Zion has a lot of fucking turnovers, especially like doing that. But just watching that for like fucking, we've only got 12 minutes left of gameplay, right? And for the 6 minutes, we're just fucking doing that straight ahead. Like let's just keep on fucking doing it. And whilst at the same time, I think James brought this up before, not doing anything on the fucking defensive end, like not getting any fucking stops. Yes, I'm like that opportunity is long fucking gone now, And then at that point, I was like, "Well, fuck you, dickheads! I lost my fucking bet, and I went back to sleep." So I think that's my 2 cents right there. Obviously, surprisingly, the only thing that didn't let me down, which I was like, "What the fuck?" Because one of the legs of my multi was Lonzo is gonna get 2+ threes, and this motherfucker actually did get 2 threes. So I'm like, "Yo, like I can't be mad about Lonzo," but usually in these kind of situations, I'm like, fucking Lonzo, but no, it was just the team in general. So, yeah.
It's funny because his only points were those 2 threes. So, you just made it. But yeah,
Oh, really? That was early?
yeah,
Oh, shit.
6 points, 2 of 8 from 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think what you're saying is a good point, but in terms of them driving to the basket, looking to make things happen, it's definitely, I think, a product of the shooters not being able to shoot. I
Yeah.
bet you it's because they've seen that we keep missing shots. They're having to force plays. They're the only ones that are scoring and really
Yeah, forced plays is a good way to say it.
outputting. But yeah, like I mentioned, I couldn't watch this game. Well, it was 4 a.m. game, so I didn't wake up for it. What I saw from the highlights was just a lot of, like you mentioned, defensive mishaps and just not being able to get stops. I think it's a big one. So Duncan Robinson, he broke a record for the most threes in a half on like a Christmas Day or something with 6.
Oh, yeah.
Still only ended the game with 7 threes and like 23 points, but just the fact that we let him, hit those 7 threes, the difference in the score was 13. So, 6, they hit 6 more threes and our 16 and threes where we hit 10. Those 6 threes would have made a difference. So overall, not being able to get those stops, not being able to defend on the perimeter, the one concerning thing that I saw, and this is even from the highlights, is just the defensive lapses when it comes to if Steven Adams is not on the floor and you got guys like Zion matched up with either like Jackson Hayes or Nico Melli, or even Melli and Hayes themselves, looking quite lost on defense at times. So granted, the Heat are a very good team and they have a lot of spacing.
They were just in the championship. Let's not forget.
Yeah, exactly. They're
in the finals.
They're not a joke of a team. They're a legitimate team. They were running rings around some of our defense. Zion looking lost, not making the right switches, not communicating quick enough. Jackson Hayes not looking keen on, not looking like he knows where he's going. Definitely some concerns, and I think forward depth is something that we need to look at in the future. But I think to highlight some good things, I guess, is that we only let them score 111. So that's not as bad as we see in the previous seasons. And then, Zion, definitely shout out to him. 32 points, 14 rebounds. I think one thing coming out of this offseason that I'm impressed by is how fit Zion has looked compared to last season. Just, he's playing crazy amount of minutes. He played 30 minutes against the Raptors, played 38 minutes this game. So Stan Van Gundy is just slave labor right now.
Yeah, slave labor indeed.
Zion just looks super fit, super active. He's, I'm not too concerned about him getting injured at the moment because he just looks like he looks a lot fitter, and I think that's a product of Stan's training, right? So I think you mentioned it, or one of the players also, Jackson Hayes, mentioned it. Like last year's training sessions with Alvin were like 45 minutes or something.
Yeah.
And then now with Stan, they're training for 3 hours or so, and it's probably making a huge difference. You can see it. You can see it in guys like Zion. They're just fit at the moment. All our starters played over 30 minutes. I guess that's the positive. We only scored 98, so definitely offense is something we can fix. But yeah, seems like it was just a cold knife for everyone else. 39% from the field, 28% from the 3. That won't happen every night, but yeah, overall, just Miami's a good team. Miami's a legit team, legit threat. So yeah,
and they'll come off a loss too.
Yeah, exactly. So as much as we might be disappointed in this game, there's definitely a lot of positives to look forward to going forward. And another thing is that the start of the season for the Pelicans also looks like a pretty tough schedule. So as long as we can get over this hump with a few wins, and we've already started a lot better than we did last year, hopefully better, more positive things come out of this. But overall, I think that sums up the game for the Heat. Any other thoughts from yourself?
Yeah, I just want to have some closing notes here because we were talking about, I guess not pros and cons, like pros and cons, but we're talking about the cons, right, of this game. Basically, the biggest con is how it affected your boy personally, financially, in the betting situation. So I just want to say I had a multi for this game. Everything hit, but my greed, got the better of me. So basically, because you mentioned how before we kept them down to like 111, I think it was, and the last game versus Toronto, we actually kept them under 102, I think, right? So I was like, shit, we actually got some better defense. I'm thinking like, oh, bro, like, yeah, this is a new era of Pelicans, the SVG era. Come on, boys, let's do this, etc., right? So my bet, like, I had a few like player performance things which all hit, including that 2+ threes by Lonzo. There's that, but the one I had was over and under. Like it was going to be under, I think, like 225 points or something like that, and that was correct. And so if I had kind of thing, I would have got X amount of money, which would have been pretty decent. But yet I was like, yeah, nah, fuck it, we're gonna go all the way, boys. And I put on the because the odds for Pels to win the game were too tempting to me that I was like, okay, fuck it, let's do it. And that was my Achilles heel. that was how I lost that bet. But anyways, talking about that, I just want to chuck in a bit of my logic coming into this game. Basically, we were coming off a dub, right? And I'm seeing, like I said, this new Pels era team. I'm like, bro, let's get the momentum going on a Christmas fucking game. Let's upset them. Is I'm gonna have a monster game. Let's fucking show them that we ain't fucking around in the Pels this season, right? And Miami Heat coming off a loss, right? And we're just like, I feel as if momentum was on our side, but that's the thing. It's just the stage of it, the Christmas game. We're trying to embarrass the Eastern Conference champions, right, on Christmas Day, bro, on national fucking TV. Obviously, your boy Duncan Robinson got to break some fucking records, and so that's the thing. I like, although I'm disappointed in our Pels, I can't be mad because it's just like, yeah, like what did I expect? You know what I mean? I even asked James a couple of days ago when I was thinking about the bet, like, oh, you reckon we're gonna beat the Heat? And then you're like, oh, we can beat them, but then like, will we? And it's true. Like, I can't be mad that we lost. They're a tough competitor, and yeah, all my last thoughts is like, let's move on to the next.
Yeah, overall, I think that sums it up well. Like, we can beat this team. We definitely can,
Yeah.
but it has to be on a good day for us. And unfortunately, those
that's
days
true.
don't come every single day. So if we
That's
limit
one of our best days.
if we limit Duncan to maybe 4 threes and then JJ hits three or 4 threes, Bledsoe, Lonzo Ball chip in a few more, then it's a whole different outcome. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. So we end the week. I guess you could call it the week, or we're recording at the moment. Those first 2 games at 1-1, and that puts us at the moment, I think around 8th.
Hey.
7th, sorry. But with a lot of other teams still have to play their second game. But yeah,
for the playoffs, boys.
After that Raptors game, we were first on the ladder for about 1 day. Unfortunately,
I think this happened like a couple of seasons ago. Not last season, but the season before. We still had AD. I remember.
Yeah. But just quickly wrapping up those 2 games. It's only been 2 games, like we mentioned. But the impressive thing for me is we've held our opponents' PPG, like points per game, to 105, which is like remarkably better than last year. Pretty sure last year I think it was around 120 that we were letting them score. So it's just crazy difference and
Shoutout.
Getting to see that intensity and seeing the influence of SVG. But yeah, overall 1-1. There's still a lot of games to go. We've got a pretty tough schedule. Like I said, that puts us at 7th. But before we kind of end this episode, it's still a bit early. We just figured we'd go over first impressions across the league, right? We have managed to tune into a few other games. I've personally managed to tune into some of the Nets games, Clippers. There's a lot of pretty hype for this season. It looks very competitive, like a super competitive season. There's a lot of interesting teams and a lot of storylines coming out. Just really quickly, I'll go over my first impressions, then I'll throw it over to you, Ryan. I'm really liking how Brooklyn are looking at the moment. Like I mentioned, I've caught their games. KD and Kyrie look like they haven't missed a beat. KD looks like he hasn't been injured, and it looks like he's in form like already. It's actually insane. I think he's averaging the late 20s of points per game already, and they just have tons of chemistry. That team is super deep. They have DeAndre as a starter, and then throughout the game they bring on Jarrett Allen, Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie. It's crazy how deep and how much chemistry this team has. And then the other one so that's the Eastern Conference one, and then LA Clippers. I think the Clippers actually look really good this start of the season. They look like a pretty different team to last year. Ibaka and who else did they pick up? Kennard, and they picked up someone else. Were super good pickups, and also letting Montrezl Harrell.
Batum.
Yeah, that guy, Batum. But it seems like letting go Montrezl Harrell has helped their locker room. Seems like he was the guy. He was public enemy number 1. But yeah, the Clippers getting a good win over the Lakers, as well as complete blanking on who they beat today. But yeah, definitely looking like solid teams.
They beat Denver Nuggets for a revenge game.
Yeah, that was.
The
and then
real
Kawhi got
game.
KO'd by his own teammate.
Oh
so.
yeah, shit.
Yeah, and then on the other end of the spectrum, The Golden State are looking too hot. They've been demolished twice. I think they've lost by 30 in both games. And then the Dallas Mavericks. So without Porzingis at the moment, he's still out injured. They just don't look like the same team. You know, Luka's trying to do his best. To be fair, they have played a very hard schedule. They versed the Lakers as well as
Was it the Suns?
the Suns. So definitely a tough schedule for them. But they're not looking too hot at the moment. You know, with Porzingis coming back, they'll be 10 times better. But yeah, just my first impressions at the moment. What about yourself, Ryan? Actually, really quickly, before I jump into you, just to note that the Houston Rockets...
You jump into me? What's going on there, mate?
Just to note that the Houston Rockets and OKC haven't played their games yet. So,
true.
you know, Houston have COVID issues at the moment. So they've had their games paused or like rescheduled because some guy...
including the Portland one?
Yeah, they haven't played any games at all.
Wait, but did they only have one game before? Or that's what I said, like, because that Portland one is coming up tomorrow, like our time.
Oh, sorry. I think the Portland one's coming up, but they had their they had their Thunder game postponed. You know, as long as nothing changes, it seems like the Portland game will happening tomorrow, like you said. But yeah, they've had some COVID issues because I think one of their players was like a close contact, so then they've had to like isolate and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, over to you for your first impressions across the league.
Alright, shit. Okay, so I haven't watched the Nets. The only other person that I'd say I've watched is Clippers. I've watched, I watched them versus the Lakers. I watched that game live, I'm pretty sure. And then I also watched them versus Denver Nuggets today, live too. Basically, my takeaway is that, yeah, man, they're looking fucking hungry, you know, like, especially versus the Lakers. On the season opener, I was just like, shit, bro. It's like they like having Serge Ibaka and then trading him for like putting Montrez onto the other team. So I don't know. It's just a weird kind of mix of players that they have when you watch Lakers versus Clippers. It's just like how many are so interchangeable. Like one thing that was tripping me out was like, so they've got Lou Will, then they've got Trez, and then they've got Dennis Schroeder. All people were kind of like, you know, in contention for like the sixth man of the year, and one person was the reigning 6 man of the year, and then one person was the previous. You know what I'm trying to say, right? So I'm just like watching them all play at the same time. I'm just like, what the fuck's going on, you know? And then the fact that Trez is on the other team, everyone knows each other's tendencies, etc., etc. And anyways, just kind of like what the game meant, you know, I mean, like the narrative going into it in terms of like shit, you know, like Clippers fucked up last year. They're gonna show what's going on. And yeah, bro, PG had a fucking game. PG didn't only have a fucking game that first game, but he had a fucking game today's game too. So he's going off from 3. He's definitely feeling his rhythm. Kawhi, you know, doing what Kawhi does, right? Making sure. I think today specifically he's doing a lot of assists, but he's still got like 20 plus points. So he's, you know, Kawhi's just a fucking robot. Unfortunately, he got fucking clipped. He got elbowed by fucking Serge Ibaka accidentally in today's game. And I saw that and I was like, bro, what the fuck? So much fucking blood. But Kawhi actually, I know he does at least one kind of martial arts where he has a black belt. I saw a video of it. I think it's like karate or some shit. So I know Kawhi got a soldier on from that. Like nothing, it's nothing serious. But anyways, though, so that first game, the Lakers one, I just want to say, like, yeah, like they look scary. You know what I mean? Like, as in, I think they might like this. This is like last year's kind of embarrassment. It was exactly what they needed. You know, now they are like better than ever before, if that makes sense. And I think the pieces like the Batum pickup and shit like that, I think they've got some good pieces. Ibaka is a really good piece too. But I'm a really big fan of the Batum guy. I think that's from the first game, that was really good versus Lakers. But then today's game, what was really good was that kind of, you know, at the half they were maybe up like 20 points versus Denver, but then Denver obviously caught up. It could have been a game. It was up to like 11 points difference, etc., etc. But you could see like Denver was kind of like trying to like, you know, induce like PTSD again, right? but that's the thing. I could feel it too watching it, especially throughout the fourth quarter. But they just didn't give it, especially after Kawhi got like injured, or like quote unquote injured, right? He had to like sit out for the rest of the game. They still like, you know, did that thing. PG especially too. All these new pieces. Ibaka was fucking having a fucking, you know, like was making sure that, you know, he's getting some easy buckets, etc., etc. But yeah, and then with that, obviously they didn't lose to fucking Denver Nuggets. So Lakers one was like, yeah, sure, but I feel as if this was the proper statement game, like today's game versus Denver Nuggets, because these were obviously the guys that fucking 3-1 them out of the playoffs. But yeah, that's pretty much like my 2 cents in terms of like all the other games I've watched. There's that. I think I only caught a bit of the Suns game, that Suns game where they closed out, I think, versus the Mavs. For me, I was just like, oh shit, like, because it was kind of a boring game, not gonna lie. But then I tuned in for the last quarter, and then it was just nice to see like what's it called, Chris Paul, like mostly CP3, but also like Devin Booker here and there, like just doing like clutch plays, I guess, or like, you know, just winning in the clutch, right? Getting stops, etc., and making sure they win the game. So I'm just like, okay, yeah, that's going to be interesting thing to watch, the Suns. But yeah, apart from everything, all I can say is that I watched the Clippers. They're looking really fucking good. And I don't know, this might be the year. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think what you bring up a good point. The Suns probably didn't have that go-to guy or leader. Maybe it was Devin Booker, but you know, CP3 would definitely bring that kind of level of calmness and like clutch decision making. He doesn't have to put up 30 points or 20 points a game. I think he only scored 15 points in that game. But he'd bring that intangibles and all that other stuff that, you know, Devin Booker doesn't have to worry about. DeAndre Ayton doesn't worry about. So, yeah, the Suns look pretty hype. I only tuned in for parts of the game because my stream kept glitching out, and honestly, it was a pretty boring game. The announcers were pretty boring. You know, just can't get used to other announcers apart from the Pelicans one. Shout out Joel Myers. But yeah, overall, I think
ESPN bullshit, bro.
Yeah, I think overall you raised some good points. The Clippers definitely look a lot hungrier than they did last year. I think that's a good way to put it. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see, you know, how the Rockets go, how Oklahoma City Thunder go. Because at the moment, you know, there's a few teams at the bottom there. Denver have lost both games. You know, Portland lost their first game, Grizzlies lost their first game. The West is going to be an absolute bloodbath. We don't know who's going to make that top 8. There's also going to be that
Pelicans
playing tournament
baby.
bullshit or whatever it is. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see. But based off just first impressions, yeah, the West definitely looks like a bloodbath. While I feel like the East, yeah, you know, we'll see some teams.
East is still competitive. East is really good this year. East is really good this year, though.
Yeah,
like,
true.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, you know, different kinds. Like East is like the most competitive it's been in a while, I'd say.
Yeah,
especially with fucking Brooklyn. What the fuck are they doing right now?
Yeah,
and now Giannis got Drew Holiday too. Miami Heat trying to work shit out. You know, if Washington Wizards, why the fuck not? You know, Bradley Beal and fucking obviously Mr. Westbrook. I could see them fucking creeping into the playoffs.
Yeah, I'd like to see Washington make it up there, but yeah, there's definitely more parity in the league than we've ever seen before. Just really
Atlanta too.
Just really quickly, like you were saying about Brooklyn, it's only been 2 games again, but their points per game is 124. Their opponent points per game is 97.
Fuck.
They have a 27-point difference. It's insane. So
somebody stop these guys.
Like literally, like who's going to be the East King stoppers, man? It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so excited to see what's going to come. Hopefully, I've got pretty much all of next week off, so I'm just going to be watching NBA games. Don't have to worry about work. So yeah, can't wait. And tune into hopefully not all blowouts, but yeah, can't wait to see what's lies ahead.
So before we let these guys go, why don't we get our respective apps or whatever and find out what is the Pelicans game to be keeping an eye out for the next week?
Yeah, I'll just go over the next 5 games. Let's just say pretty tough schedule.
5 games in the next week. Damn,
we've got San Antonio coming on our Monday.
And they've got some sick jerseys, bro. The City Edition jerseys. Make sure you guys watch that video about the City Edition jerseys.
Yeah, check out the last one that we uploaded on YouTube. After that, we've got Phoenix on the 30th, so 29th for America. Our New Year's Day, we've got Oklahoma City. And then Toronto again. So
we got OKC New Year's Day. What time is that? 12 p.m. Yo, wait, should we bender it, bro? Wait, should we bender it? What do you reckon?
Mate, we're going to check out, mate.
Yeah, we'll check out and we just go to a bar. Just go to a sports bar. We'll watch it there. I'm not even talking shit. Wait.
Mate.
Is there any other games at 12 p.m.?
Mate, but anyways, take that offline.
Wait, nah, man. Wait, nah. All right, we'll continue.
Yeah, Toronto after that, and then Indiana. So pretty tough schedule. Yeah, the start of our season is definitely it's tough strength of schedule, and then hopefully we can ride it out towards the end. As long as we kind of take some of these games, we can beat San Antonio. Phoenix will be tricky. Oklahoma City, I think we can beat, and I think Toronto will beat again. So,
Wait, so sorry. Which games did you say up you counted up to? Pacers game?
yeah, up to the Pacers. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to kind of do like a little prediction. So Spurs, Suns, that's gonna be hard. Thunder, but there's Thunder, aka Pel's previous bench.
Yeah. There's gonna be a lot of reunions on the court.
Yeah, bro, that's so fucking funny. Yeah, because I was like, oh, that's not Thunder with CP3. No, that CP3 is on Suns beforehand. Like, oh shit, that's the Thunder to be scared of. Okay, Raptors, Pacers. Okay, so I reckon we could beat the Spurs. Do you reckon we'll beat the Spurs though?
I think we can.
Spurs
I mean,
coming off a dub.
LaMarcus Aldridge likes to fuck us up, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna say we can.
We got Steven Adams. We got Steven Adams now, bro.
Yeah,
We'll show. Oi, it's like when you got like a bully, and now you got a new bully friend. It's hey, bully this bully guy. All right, so let's. Okay, I'm gonna predict Spurs win. Sorry, Pelicans beat. We beat the Spurs. So that's a win for us. Maybe a loss to Suns. Maybe a win to versus Thunder. So that's 2-1. Raptors, I can see us winning, but I can't see us losing that too, you know? Because they might want revenge. I'll say 3-1, let's be optimistic. And then Pacers, definitely going to shit on them. So 4-1, maybe 3-2, I'd say, for the next 5 games. So that's not bad. That's still a positive record.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm gonna say 4-1. I'm gonna be optimistic.
Wait, 4-1?
Make a huge call, yeah. But we know how our predictions went last year. AK not so great. Sorry, this year, not so great. But
last season, though,
man, it's a new season, right? It's a new start.
Yeah, it's a new season. It's a new season. Season 1, episode 21 of the Pelbros podcast, right?
Yeah,
I reckon we did a decent effort. It's been pretty much a month since our last episode, mate.
Yeah, apologize for any rust, but it has been a while. We have been concentrating on some YouTube content, but yeah, we'll get back into this on a regular basis. We'll be giving you updates on the games, probably weekly or you know, potentially even fortnightly. But yeah, we'll see. Definitely tune in, subscribe, make sure you get the latest episode when it comes out. But yeah, anything else from yourself, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm not too sure if we would record one next weekend because that's kind of like after New Year's Eve and shit. And I don't know, like I can already barely put a sentence as it is right now.
Yeah, you know, it might be in a fortnight's time. But.
So yeah. But what will definitely be, you know, assuming COVID doesn't shut up the whole fucking league in the meantime, like we'll definitely be tuning in soon again. So hit us up at Pelbros on Instagram. Why the fuck not? And then obviously Pelbros on YouTube. Like James said, we've been dropping a shitload of goodies on YouTube, so make sure you guys checking that out. We are blowing up on YouTube. It's actually quite funny. I was talking to James about it just before the podcast, but basically we were on 70 subscribers, right? But just before 70 subscribers, we were on 69, right? And I remember when we were on 69, I was like, fuck yeah, bro. I got you to screenshot it, yeah? And I screenshotted it too. Like, you know, I'm going to hang it out. I'm going to frame that shit, you know what I mean, one day. But then obviously, because we're doing so good, we're blowing up, it went back up to 7. It went up to 70. So I was like, okay, that happened. But luckily, some guy, because of the just the spam, the absolute like trash that we were posting yesterday, he decided to unsubscribe. And because of that, that's actually the best thing that could have happened. Like, I'm not even like making up this story to kind of like, oh, you didn't hurt me or whatever. I'm actually generally so fucking happy because now we're on 69 again, 69 subscribers again. So it's like, we've been blessed by the Lord, because this is supposed to be a once in a lifetime thing. Oh, our Pelbros podcast getting 69 subs on YouTube. That's a big fucking highlight. It happened. Now we're on 70. Now we've moved on. But nah, bro, we're on it again and we're celebrating again on a season 1 debut, right? Season 1 pilot, of the Pelbros episode 21, baby. So I think that's like good fucking energy. We're on 69 subscribers still. Who knows if you guys want to keep, you guys want to count it up, or maybe someone's going to dig this up later on. Some big fans going to dig this up later on and post it to us when we're actually celebrating 6.9k subscribers on YouTube. I'm just trying to say, if that does happen and you do dig this up, shout out to you specifically. But yeah, anyways, that's all I want to say. I just wanted to make sure that special moment is immortalized for the internet in terms of our Pelbros achieving 69 subscribers on YouTube. Not only once, but twice, baby. That's how we fucking do it.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, yeah, let's wrap this up. Thanks for tuning in, and yeah, stay tuned for the next one. We out.